Hi everyone and welcome to my place. Today I'm here to answer the floral needs and wants and an emergency that could emerge if we don't get it sorted out. For Elizabeth, who lives in the UK, she's getting married in the winter. She's going to use fresh foliage and she's going to use artificial flowers, which I think is a good idea because in the winter in the UK, the foliage you can get on the side of the road for nearly nix, for next to nix, just a bit of time going to get it. You can buy your flowers now, and I would put just a few fresh flowers in. But the castle, Elizabeth, the castle looks amazing. It looks like it's 1,000 years old, and I just so would love to be getting married in that environment. Now, you wanted something that was heavy and chunky, which is correct because the environment is heavy and quite chunky. So I've done a paint finish on this urn, and I've shown you how to do this before. Really, really easy. If you haven't got anything like this, you could use perhaps a stone container. So what I've done is I've gathered all of the material. Unfortunately, Elizabeth, I haven't got access to the fresh foliage, but you did say that you had the green-based foliage and you had the grey-based foliage, or the conifers. Great idea of using this because of that environment, because it's not a pretty little elegant sort of like summer house, is it? No, it's a big stone castle and the stud is really high. Now you're looking for flowers for an entranceway. They're going to go onto an urn. So what I do today, just imagine that you're going to make it much, much bigger. So to begin, I've got some foam in my container here, and you said that you were going to put a few fresh flowers like some lilies. So that's why, Martin, if you're watching, that's the reason why I'm using the green based or the green foam. And the other thing that I've discovered is that with the wet foam, once you wet it and put it into a container, it's really, really heavy. Okay, to begin, to know what distance or length of foliage to cut, the general rule of thumb is 1.5 times the height or the width of the container, whichever is the greatest. The reason I love to use this type of container is because it is lovely and strong and chunky, and it is as high as it is wide, or a couple of centimetres here and there, doesn't matter. Okay, so just imagine that there's an imaginary centre line, and I thought that I had been quite good on briefing you on that, but just to make sure that we've got it all sorted out, let's just imagine again and just go through it, just a little bit of briefing. Just imagine that there's an imaginary line that goes through there. So whatever you do on this side, with all foliage cut to the same length before you begin, it just makes working so much easier. So what you've done there, you do there, what you do there, you do there. Now I'm going to make this a round bowl because, Elizabeth, where I saw the urns on the side of the entrance as you go in, I thought that a round would be much better, and because you can see it from all around, it is best to go all round because you don't want to be seeing the back end of something. Okay, so I've put a bit there, a bit there, a bit there, a bit there, and I've only got one more bit left, so I'm just going to put that there. Now we're looking a little bit out of balance at this stage, but do not panic because we can sort this. Right, let's put the grey-based foliage into here. Bring in another bit, because I've done that, bring another bit into there, and because I've got space from there to there, just bring another piece on top of that so that it just goes in, so it goes in towards the centre. Now often when you're doing work like this, hold on, because it's artificial I can just spread it out. Often when you're doing things like this, you might have a branch, you might want to make it long. You've got to remember that you've got to bring whatever's happening out here into the centre of your arrangement. Otherwise you're going to have some voids, and we don't want any voids. Okay, that bit into there. Because I've done that, let's bring a piece over to there, and I just love this stuff. And as I said, I've said on several occasions, I am waiting for a shipment and consignment of artificial plants and flowers from China, and as soon as they arrive, I've been talking about it for ages, they arrive, I'll let you know. Okay, so that's all around the outside there, and then let's bring one into the centre, a piece on the one side. Because I've done that, let's bring a piece into there. Now you also said that you were going to use some ivy. Now this is how you can actually take that round sort of like looks like a big pudding bowl away from it. When you put your foliage in, put a long piece on one side, and I've got another piece on this side, and then this can go into there like that, and I've got one more piece that can go into there like that. Now you can make your ivy as long as you want, and what I suggest is you do this much first, and then if you're doing it at the venue, just do that, and then when you're finished, put the longer bits in. Right, because I've got this green base foliage here, that looks really lovely and is a nice complement with the ivy. I've got this grey based here. What I'm going to do is just put a few little lamb's ears into that, so that you've got the two complements of form and colour. Another one into there, one into that side, and then I'll bring that over and into there. And I've got two bits left, and I'm going to leave those because I've sort of at this stage thinking I might just need to put a bit into there, but we'll come back to that. Right, how much easier is it when everything's all cut and ready to go? Right, I've got some roses. In fact, I've got a couple of varieties of roses here, and I think that if you use a combination of different roses, then that's what's going to make your completed arrangement look quite natural. And the other thing is that because it's going to be far away from people, it doesn't really matter if you've got the fresh and then you've got the artificial. As much as I love these roses, they're really, really, really perfect and uniform in colour and shape and form. If you want to, and this is a wee tip from me, to give a little bit of variance, just dip these into a little bit of tea or coffee, and that'll take that harsh edge off them. Right, one can go into there, and these all have been cut to the same length. So I've got one there, and I'm going to bring another one over to here, bring one into there, and then I've got 5 of these, so this other one can go into there. Now have some a little bit higher, some a little bit lower, and then I've got these here. I don't know what they are, but anyway, they're quite nice. I've only got 3 of those, so when it comes to putting uneven numbers into a round design like this, the best rule of thumb is to just put them in as if you were building a triangle, and that's equal distance between each of your placements. So I'll put one into there, take that down into there. As I said, some can be a little bit higher, some can be a little bit lower. Where's that other one gone? I know I've got 3. Where'd it go? My goodness. Oh, here it is. Whew, I was a bit worried there for a minute. So one there, and then one in over here. And I'll push that down just a little bit lower than the roses. Okay, I've got some hydrangeas here because you said you also wanted to use hydrangeas, and finding hydrangeas in the middle of winter, although you can find them, what I've found is that they actually don't hold out of season as well. It's like a lettuce, you know. Lettuce out of season is not going to last as long, is it? So I'll put one there, another one over to there. I've got 4 of these. That's over there, so I'm going to bring this one here now, and I'm going to just have that going down, and then turn this around so that you can see what I'm doing, and I'll put that into there like that. Okay, about this stage we've got this big fat round fluffy thing that's doing nothing. To break that up, and as I said, if you've got different forms of roses and sizes, just by putting those into there, you'll break that up. And I'll put one a bit lower and one a bit higher. So see what that different colouring does to the design. I've also got these single roses, so these are also going to break it up. So I've got 5 of those, one into there. These you can lift up a little bit higher. Oops, hold on. I think I had lots of room in here, but I sort of kind of haven't. So one into there, I'll bring one down and over into there, which I'll show you in a minute. There's a bit of a space. Got one there. I'll put one into. Where'd that go? Ah, it did go in. And I might just put another one into there, like that, and then one round into there. Now I've got these roses here. I've only got 3 of those, so I'm going to put one into there, and that's the same rule of thumb as what we've talked about, at equal distance all around. And then I'll put the 3rd one into there. Now I've got this grey base foliage around here. I've got those 2 bits left, so I'm going to put another bit into there, and then I'll put another bit into there. And this is called transition, and this is bringing the grey from the outside edges or into the centre of your design. And if you wanted to, just getting this bit here, that can just sit into there like that. And I've got 2 little rose leaves, and I think that these also need to go into the design. So all I'm going to do is just wire those together, and then they can just go into there so that you've got another little bit of green into there. How easy was that? Now Elizabeth, you see that you're going to put some fresh lilies into this. There's lots of room into there, and I would put one there, and one over there, and that's going to give you the fragrance. And you know what? Your guests are never going to know. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope I've solved your problem. I hope this has helped some of you that are learning new ways of doing designing. Thanks for watching. I'll see you another day.